Okay, so the last video was cut because there was no more space, but I've made my point regarding Israeli trick, funny tricks. Since then, I've uploaded the new video with many new photographs from various slides, and I have many more, but I don't have enough time just to take the paint, like the photographs of the paintings. One that really caught my mind was, I mean, it was a little bit similar to the depiction of viruses, but it was much larger. I mean, I couldn't fit it in one like photograph, even with the maximum zoom out. So it took like three consecutive photographs. It looks a little bit like I mean. I don't know, like a Stargate. I mean, the way it's depicted in the movie, like a big ring. I mean, with all sorts of like decoration around it. I suppose, but it does contain like the nucleus inside, which is typical to viruses, even though it's a small one. Um, I wonder what it is. Um, by the way, and this is related to several things that I want to talk about. Um, like I it's been some time that I mentioned the relationship between the Neros and Gates, and this could be seen in many of my artworks. I mean some objects are vaguely reminiscent both of the what I call Neros and both of kind of like kind of Gates. It I think it's best seen in the photograph in the black and white oil painting, which uh, which is the last of the lava tube genre that I painted, which contains big like a series of big rings that could be interpreted both as a lava tube entrances. Um, 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 and both as as I mean as this kind of a gate and also maybe a Neo. And for the first time I saw that maybe, I mean, we've mentioned several times the question, what's the minimum size of Nero and what's the maximum size, and I've mentioned that I don't know what's the minimum size is, and it's I mean you absolutely cannot determine it without an electron microscope, and perhaps even the electron microscope would not be enough, because perhaps in its minimal size, it's something that is not, I mean, accepted or acceptable using our current physical model of reality, which I mean, already the properties, I mean, the work of soft art and behavior of the Neos defies several of our established tenets of physics. So perhaps the creation in the minimal size also is a little bit outside of the realm of our current model of the physical model of the universe. And regarding the maximal size, and this is a new thought. I thought, I don't know, it's kind of a long shot. Tell me what you think about it. But for the first time, I thought that maybe there is no maximal size. It's just that it takes them a lot of time to grow, and I mean, the larger they are, they need more energy, and we'll speak about it in a bit. More energy to become even larger, um, which perhaps, and but we do know that they can live outside of my body. I mean, it's not that they all can only live and do stuff inside my body. I mean, you've seen a lot of. I haven't showed you any photograph from inside my body. I don't have any way to take photographs from inside my body. So this leaves the option of a Nero that was, I mean, secreted from body of a creature like myself, and kept in good conditions, or in viable conditions, whatever they might be, and supplied with kind of energy for long periods of time, perhaps thousands of years, or I don't know, maybe millions of years, until it became big enough to 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 um So a person, like a human being, could actually enter it. And perhaps this is the perhaps this is the gate. Perhaps perhaps a Nero which expanded during a lot of time to be, the size of a human. I don't know how long is your gate. I've never seen it. And again, I know that there are several gates on Earth and other places. So, but I have no idea where exactly is the Israeli gate located. I've proposed several, hypotheses on the matter, but I don't know. I've never been there. I've never seen it. But I guess a person can get inside it, because otherwise, how do you get there and back? So it's bigger than a person for Sam. So it's large enough for a person. To at least crawl inside it, and which means it is huge. But by the standards of the ones that of the creatures that I call Neros. But perhaps it's just that. And if this is the case, then it's an extreme long shot. It means that there are actually millions or billions of stargates inside my body. And also in this room, actually. On the slides, and most of them are small, are in the nanoscopic level, so they will not. They're not particularly useful if you want to pass between. To use them as gates, but who knows? So, and regarding the questions, how do they grow? So this leads to a practical question, or a series of practical questions that I've already spoken about, and I have several new hypotheses on the matter. So there are several related questions here. First is, how does it get bigger? Second, what is its energy source? Because it needs energy source. It's performing work. It mines stuff. It builds stuff, paint stuff. So it requires energy. So what's the energy source? Third is, what material can it use for its construction projects? Whether we're speaking about painting, sculptures, or like actually living organisms that it revives. So what I think now is that the questions this creature might not be that picky. Perhaps it can use a variety of stuff. Regarding what it can use as material, something that was now very clear to me, and I've spoken about it in an earlier video today or yesterday, is that they query the sellotape from the tapes, and they use it as material. And this is something that I've seen a lot, on the slides during the past couple of days, but I haven't mentioned it because, I'm so, I'm overwhelmed by a ton of new information, and I know it's difficult for me to process everything, and sometimes that I miss obvious things that I'm so certain that even like my viewers that just see the videos or watch the videos or work at my microscope, I'm certain they received a lot of information that I missed, not only because they have much more background, because I'm a layman, I didn't even study like high school biology, but because I can't pay attention to everything. So one important thing that is obvious, and you don't need any biological background, in order to notice it, is that they tend, in many of the slides, they query the sellotape, and they use it as building material, which leads me to think that they are not that picky of like, they take whatever they can, even though we see that, it's more clear in the body, in the slide, in the old slide, which is like maybe 2 weeks old, where we see the clones of the leg, which is the most mature slide. It's clear that they didn't take everything from the body of the flight. They queried the body for certain stuff, but they didn't take everything. So, I think what I gather from it is that they know how to. They know they know how to to query corpses of living creatures, like to take several minerals which they like for their construction businesses, but I mean, not everything. They don't use everything from the corpse of the fly. Now regarding the question of how do they grow and what energy do they use? What energy is available for them in order to do stuff? So I tend to think that the answer to both these questions is that it might be that they're not that picky. I mean, maybe they use whatever. I mean, we've seen that even in the freezer they can do stuff like, which leads me to believe that they can process biological and like food. They can eat, or in other words, they can eat germs or dead germs in order to, and they receive energy from it. Because otherwise, I don't understand how do they have energy inside the freezer to perform all sort of stuff that we already seen that they do inside the freezer. But this does not exclude that they might receive energy, from light. And I've conducted several experience in the last 2 days, and I'll continue with it. Last time here is like example I've seen right now. Yesterday night I actually I put I think I put too much light sources and too many light sources, and I covered it too well, and the microscope became scalding hot, and so I was worried that the microscope will get damaged, or the lenses will twist because of the heat. But I also worried that I killed the Neros, and because I don't know what's the maximum temperature that they can withstand. So I need to be I need to be more responsible and more cautious when I'm applying light sources, because light, eventually turns to heat, and for certain they cannot withstand any heat. That's for sure. But again, I'm sure that with more, I'm sure that they can also be charged with electricity, but it's going to take me time to understand how exactly I should do it. Yesterday, I've done several experiments, and the switch of the house was jumped. Like I did this. I shortcut the electricity in the house. So after that, and it was night already, so I stopped my experiment with that because I didn't want to alarm my mother too much. But yes, more, of course, many more electricity related experiment should be made, because I'm certain that that there is a way to charge them with electricity, and again I'm certain they can also eat just food. Just germs, so they're not that picky. Now another thing that I wanted to mention is that the issue is the symbolic commands. Like, how do I give him symbolic command to create something, to portray it, or to make sculpture it, or even to revive it? And I've already said it. I gave them like a picture, a drawing that was supposed to be of themselves, according to some kind of abstract thought that I have, that I'm sure that they do not share with me. And I'm pretty certain that they interpreted it as a virus. So this led me to think maybe I should portray some more viruses, but I'm not sure how a virus looks like. And I'm not even sure that but I've thought about like basic drawings that I know even from children's books of microbes, and I draw them today, and I create tiny versions of them, and also prepared new syringes with the semen, and later today I will try to incite the Neros to create the stuff that I drew. But this time I will use I'll put both sellotape and a little bit of silicone, because I want to see that if they have both sellotape and silicone at their disposal as building block. What do they prefer to choose? To build with, or maybe they will choose both of them. So let's see. How it goes. So these are. I came up with these. I know they look childish, but that's I suppose to draw them like in a miniature, in a very, very small scale, and something more complicated like that I will never be able to draw. This is supposed to be some kind of a fly or something like that. This is supposed to be a ciliate, and this is a flagellum, or whatever, the ones with the tails. This is kind of a hook something, I don't know. and that's kind of like a snake or worm. So I'll prepare a miniature version of those, and we'll see how it goes. And also I'll put both silicone and sellotape to see what's the preferred building block for them. I know that you all want to see like how things like that actually is not only painted or sculptured but also revived and start to move. And of course, if you can, record in video, the moment when it's revived, then it will be amazing. But it's unlikely that I will be able to do it with the current equipment because, I have a simple microscope and without a built-in camera. And as I said before, it's probably already happened, and they're on the way, to do to take their place in this world. But if it didn't happen, I'm sure that it will be happening sometimes in the next couple of days or maximum weeks. But I can't be. It's too optimistic to think that I will be able to capture the moment itself. Because perhaps I'll be able to take photograph or video of one that is already been revived, but not the moment, the specific moment when it is revived. I think it's not. I don't have the necessary equipment, and maybe we will be lucky. And anyway, just seeing, I think that watching moving like germs or other microbes move inside the slide that we both know that was devoid of life before that. We don't really know. It's a problem, and it's also a problem because microbes are very small to pick like one of them. You never pick one microbe. The only way that we can again, the Neros, they paint the microbes and the viruses in huge scale. That's why they're so obvious. They're so easy to find under the lens. But normally you can't find like a specific one. That's why you do. If you want to see if a sample, like a human sample, contains a virus or a germ, you do a culture of it. You wait at least 2 days. You put it on like agar or other material and put it like in kind of an oven for 2 days at least, or 3 days or 4 days, and then you. If you had several worms or viruses of some kind, they will go exponentially, and it will be extremely easy to identify them. It's not something that you identify one by one. So that's why, unless they will create one which is, the only way to pick one and to show that they actually created the one that we wanted them to create, or that they created a specific one which is a new one and was not there before, is if they will created, in the same huge scale that they painted it. And it doesn't seem likely to me. It will mean that we'll have like a COVID which is not only made out of silicon, but also maybe like, 1,000 or 10,000 times larger than like the original COVID virus, which seems a little bit, it's in the horizon. I'm not against it, but maybe it's like maybe we should. Let's go step by step. And maybe there are like a little. Easier steps on the way that we can achieve and demonstrate together. So stay with us. It's going to be interesting. And as always, I will glad to receive any comment. I try to always keep an open mind.